Hey everyone, welcome to the end of the year and the first of my wrap-up videos. You probably have figured out by the way I look that we are going to be doing a video about makeup, and instead of me just holding up the products, I'm going to put some of them on. Now, I have a lot of favorites from 2025 to share with you in the way of beauty. I cannot apply all of them to my face at the same time, so I will list all of my favorites by category in a few places. In the description box, the old school traditional way of doing it, and then all that information will also be copied and pasted to the very first comment in the comment section. And if any of these products happen to be carried by retailers that are on the YouTube shopping platform, they should pop up on the screen somewhere. Someone even said there's a QR code that magically appears if you're watching on TV. I have not seen that for myself, so let me know. Okay, so I have all my skincare on already, except the very last step in my skincare. And I have put together a collection over on my ShopMy of my morning and evening skincare, the current routine. That will be linked at the top as well. We're gonna start off with the last step in my skincare, which I feel is the most important step, and that is sunscreen. And the sunscreen I've reached for the most in 2025 is this one from ColorEscience. It's their SPF 50 Flex. It is 100% mineral, and I am currently wearing it in the lightest shade. I believe it's fair. I have used light and medium as my summer shade, and do not adjust your screens. This is not overexposed. This is actually the current color of my skin. As I'm applying the products, we can chit chat. So just to establish who I am if you are new here, my name is Marnie. I am 52, almost 53 years old. I have dry skin. I have sensitive and reactive skin, which means does not play well with many things. And I would say that my makeup style is a natural glam. I don't like the no makeup look, but I don't like a big heavy eye liner fake lash. I like it on other people. I just don't think it looks the way I want it to look on me. So I usually do a full face of makeup. And as I go through this, I just want to add that if you're happy with what you've got going on in your makeup routine, do not feel like you need to change anything. But if you see one piece here, one piece there that you want to give a go, I think that is a fantastic idea. I do think that we do have to adjust the lighting a little bit because you can't see what I just put on. So the product I just put on my face is nothing new to anyone who's watched at least one of my makeup videos. It's the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift. It is an under eye corrector. This cancels out blueness, blue tones under the eyes. I wear it in the shade 1, and it goes on after your SPF, before the rest of your makeup. So let's start with foundation. I just want to walk you through the 3 most used, and then I'm going to put on my current favorite. So I would say that the L'Oreal Regular True Match, and then the L'Oreal True Match Nude, more of a dewy finish, I would say, is one of my most favorite. Another one that I really love, and I have an update on this one. I don't know if you're gonna like it. I mean, you're gonna like the foundation, but you're not gonna love the update. It's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Now this is the smaller bottle. I went to get my winter shade in the full size bottle, and I was told you can't find it anywhere. And if you are a fan of Armani Luminous Silk, you may have noticed that yourself. Sold out everywhere. That is because I've been told Armani is reformulating this beloved foundation. They're adding some skincare products like niacinamide into it. I am not thrilled personally. I've never seen a reformulation that's better than the original, but here's hoping they don't screw it up. If you are a foundation twin of mine, I wear the shade 375 in the winter and shade 4 in the summer. It's a perfect match. But my current most reached for foundation for the last few months, and it's not a new one, it's just new in my rotation, is the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow in the shade Fair. I love this. I think it has really great coverage. It's not as thick a coverage as the original IT Cosmetics. It lasts on me all day. It is nice that it has SPF in it, but I do not depend on my makeup to do that for me. That is the job of the SPF. So just wanted to get in there. SPF is for SPF. Makeup is for makeup. If you have SPF in your makeup, great, but that should not take the place of a standalone SPF. This is the BK Beauty 101. Most of the brushes that I use are from BK Beauty. I do have a discount code. They are fantastic. I know I'm anticipating some comments that I'm not really showing much in the way of drugstore. I am showing you what I actually use. I don't want to lie and recommend products that I don't know much about. I would rather give you my opinion on what I'm familiar with. There are some amazing channels here on YouTube that focus primarily on beauty, and in that category also focus on drugstore. And if there's room in the description box, I will list a few, or I think pop a card in up here for you to tap that and go check out some of the other channels because they're putting out amazing work, and the more eyes on them, the better. So that was the IT Cosmetics CC Nude Glow. Now let's get some concealer on. So I've always used two different concealers, one for my face and one for my under eye, one for blemishes, imperfections, and the one I keep going back to over and over for blemishes is the Clé de Peau Concealer, another crazy expensive one. It is. This is an old blemish. This is me picking at dry skin. Don't do that. So this is one option, but new to me this year, and I've really been loving it. It's, again, not budget friendly, and I'm gonna stop making apologies for it because I'm not sorry. This is what I love. I will admit I buy far less makeup than I used to because makeup is not the focus of my channel anymore. So the Sarah Creal, I don't know what it's actually called, Face Flex. I'm wearing it in the shade 1.0. What's interesting is that it can also be used as a foundation. You can paint it all over your face, which is probably why it's so expensive. You just shear it out more with a brush. And I love this as well. I think it's won a ton of awards, if I remember correctly. I'm just grabbing random brushes. This is an IT Cosmetics brush. It's that angled thing that I like. You know what? We're not gonna pat that in. We're gonna let it marinate while we do the under eye. So there have been a couple, well, more than a couple that I've been liking this year. The IT Cosmetics under eye concealer is one. I don't know if I've ever spoken about this one on camera, so this is the one I'm gonna use. It's the Thrive Cosmetics, some kind of concealer, and I have the pinky shade. And then if you really want a bright under eye, I've also really been loving this one from Natasha Denona, the Hy-Glam concealer in the shade R2. But I'm gonna go with the one I've used the most. Even though I think I like the Natasha Denona one a little bit better, I do really like this one. It really brightens. And I'm sure a few of you are going, well, wait, you just put on something under your eye before. That was to correct. This is to brighten. Two separate animals. And the reason why I've left the blemish ones on longer is as it sets on the skin and kind of dries down a little bit, it gets a little more opaque. So you get a little more coverage without having to use as much product. Now, before we move on to the powder products, I do want to finish with any cream or liquid products that I have. And I've been playing with a bunch of cream bronzers. I like them all. I don't love them enough to say you should really try this one. And so the only products I'm including here are the ones where I think, yes, absolutely, it is worth it for you to try them out. I like them, I don't love them. So we're gonna skip the cream bronzer and we're gonna go in with a contour. And the difference is contour, whoops, almost threw that across the room, is a little more cool toned, and then the bronzer's to warm up the face. So I might look a little pastier than usual today, but I think my powder bronzer will help. And I've gone back to, I've been flip-flopping between the Dior contour stick and the Westman Atelier, and I've gone back to the Westman Atelier one. And I just do a little bit under each cheekbone. And then this is the fun part. I don't know if this really works, but I would prefer to contour my nose and make it look a little more slender, like especially at the end. I wasn't particularly precise with that. And the beginnings of jowls will do. I don't really contour up here anymore because my face is a little more up and down. So if I put it here, it gets a little even more narrow, so we're just gonna leave that be. This is a BK Beauty 116, which is very much like my beloved 106. It's just a teeny bit smaller. And this does have a little more warmth to it, so this could really take the place of a bronzer as well, even though it says on the label contour. And then for blush, I do have, I'm just looking at the table in front of me of so many products. This has been the one I've been reaching for the most, I would say this year, more so in the latter half of 2025, another Westman Atelier product. It's their, I guess it's their cream blush. Now, everybody raves about Petal, and I think it's pretty, but if you lean more toward the fair side of the spectrum like me, I think Coquette is a better color choice. It's a peachier pink, and you can just draw it right on your face, but I do like to put it on with a very specific brush. The IT Cosmetics, the double-ended one, you can see it's been used for blush. And I put it at the high points of my cheeks. Okay, this has nothing to do with makeup, but the people at YouTube have been telling us creators that the new trend in YouTube videos is more raw, unedited, extremely long form content. I don't know. I'm gonna make this more in that style and not be as precise with my editing. So we'll see how this video does. Let me know if you like that kind of content or you like me to mix it up. I kind of think a combo would be best. Okay, I think I can safely say I am done with the cream and liquid products. So we're gonna move on to the powder. Some of you might have noticed I did not use a primer. That's because there's not one that I think is an absolute must-have. I'm not even convinced primers do anything for longevity, but that's because I have super dry skin and anything I put on it, my skin just goes. Now, if I want a particular effect, like more glowy skin, there are some glowier primers that I have layered underneath. But again, not one in particular that I think, oh, you have to run out and get this. So I'm leaving them out of the list. Let's start with the powdering. Okay, first, under eyes. If you have a ton of fine lines here, you still need to powder because what happens is as the concealer that is wet settles into your skin, it just sort of collects in those creases where the powder removes some of that extra wetness, let's just say, and actually, I wouldn't say completely stops, but helps to avoid settling in lines and creases. So I'm going in with an oldie but a goodie. And when I say oldie, it's time to buy the refill on this guy. This is the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever this is, brightening powder. And I just get a triangle puff from Amazon. You can use a fluffy brush if you don't want quite as much on there. And I just gently pat. And that just pulls the extra moisture away from the concealer you just shoved under there. And it does give you a brighter, more smoother appearance on the under eye. Now for the rest of my face, I have been wrestling with an amazing powder because this time of year, my skin gets really dry. I need a powder because there's too much cream and liquid here. And when I go in with the other powder products, it gets splotchy and uneven. So I need a layer of powder to stop that from happening. The one I've been liking is the Laura Mercier. It's actually a foundation powder. I'm wearing it in this shade, the shade 2C. Now to make it a little less intense, I do use a fluffy brush. This is an old Sephora one that I think is discontinued. I just like a little extra coverage. There's another one that I keep in my purse for touch-ups if I get shiny, which with the dry skin isn't as much of an issue, but it's back in stock and I have to share it because it's something I've had and used for years and I never give it enough love. It's the Portrait Setting Powder from M Cosmetics. It's translucent. There's not a lot to it. It comes with a very thin puff, and here you go. It mattifies and removes shine without making your face cakey. So if you live somewhere that is very humid or you have oily skin, this is gonna be your new best friend, and keep it in your purse. On to bronzer. There have been two that I've really been loving this year. Most of the year, it was this baked one from Dibs, particularly the shade Vanilla Latte. It used to be domed up. It is completely flat now. So that's that one, and I do really love it. And then I'd say, again, the second half of the year, reaching more for the RMS Beauty bronzer. This thing has been decimated by me. I've actually just ordered a refill, and this is the shade Beachwalk Betty. I feel like I need some extra warmth today. We are going out this evening to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah, so I might be a little more extra with my makeup since we're going out. Another brush I've had forever. It's from It Cosmetics. It's their French boutique blush brush. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's a fluffier angled, technically bronzer brush. No, I'm sorry, blush brush, but I have a tiny little head. So it's better for me to use a bronzer brush. Let me rewind that. It is better for me to use a blush brush as a bronzer brush. It still covers a lot of surface area on my skin. So even though this looks super deep, as you can see, it's not leaving a ton of pigment on my skin. It's easily built up, which I prefer because I am heavy-handed, and so this gives me a little wiggle room. I just learned this little trick. If you want to contour this part of your face a little bit, just spin the brush in there, just a little subtle. Run it down your neck. I think that gave me some warmth without too much, so I feel like I'm looking a little washed out. Let's just add a layer of this. This is a little more glowy and a little more pigmented, as you can see. Wow, whoops. Okay, maybe I should have quit while I was ahead. Hey, we're not editing, right? So let's see how we can fix this. I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush, this big old guy, and buff that out. Okay, I'm a danger to myself with a makeup brush. On to blush. There's been a few. You've heard me share my love for the YSL Face Palette, which has 3 blushes and 3 highlighters. It is beautiful. I have also been loving just this shade in particular. This might be the winner for 2025. This is the Make Me Blush in shade, I don't know what it is. It's shade 42. Let's just go with that. Look at that. So fun. But then I found RMS Beauty, and I have been going through these. Like, I've been adding to my collection like crazy. So the newest one is Hanky Panky. Gorgeous for fall and winter. Just so pretty. Do you see those like almost gold undertones? So, so pretty. And then there's also French Rose, which is a little bit lighter. I'm kind of leaning towards that one today. And then there's Bermuda Rose, which is a little bit deeper. I don't know, I think this one. This one is French Rose. And another brush you probably can't get. This one's from Flower Beauty. I think NARS is the influence for this. So if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get the NARS one. If you can find, this was from Flower Beauty. This was a good one. I just love that it's small, but it is fluffy. A lot of blush brushes that are smaller are too dense. And as you can see, I just slap on that makeup and it gets too much super fast. Okay, I think that's it for the face products that I wanted to talk about. So let's get to the next part, the fun part, where you can really go crazy. The eyeballs. Okay, not your eyeballs, your lids, your eyes. For sure, there was a standout winner in brow pencils this year, and it is the Revie Beauty brow pencil, specifically in the shade Taupe. I cannot say enough things about it. If you buy, I'd say one product that I'm talking about today, give this one a go. It is really soft and creamy, so you don't have to be particularly talented in getting it onto your face, and yet it stays put. It's very pigmented. It stays on all day. I'm not going to go crazy drawing it out. I'm just kind of filling in what I already have. It does come in quite a few other shades. I'm just trying to give it a basic shape and fill out that tail a little bit that doesn't seem to want to grow in ever again. And then I do like to use the spoolie on the other end to brush it through a little bit, soften it up. And then another great find for 2025, I do have a few new products to share with you, is from Make Beauty, and it's their brow gel. Now, I have tried their tinted version. It's okay. You have to be pretty precise or you're gonna get tinted brow gel all over your face. I really love the clear one. It holds everything in place and it doesn't get crunchy, which I have almost never seen happen. And the brush itself does not get gunky after repeated use, which I have to say is the first in the history of all clear brow gels for me anyway. So that is the brows done. I don't use an eye primer. You can probably, I don't know how far in we've zoomed at this point, but you can probably see that there's concealer and there's foundation already on my eyes. And for me, that's enough. Here's where things get tricky. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I have used and loved this year. I'm just gonna show them to you and then I'm gonna make a snap decision. So this is not new to me for 2025, but the M Cosmetics Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in Saturn's Return. These very cool toned shades. I have 3 more of these palettes. They come in different tones and shades and they're all really lovely and they hold up really well. So that's option 1. Option 2, another oldie but goodie, is the Tartelette palette. The Tartelette in Bloom specifically, which is a nice mix of shimmers and mattes and cool tones, neutral tones, and warm tones. So that's beautiful. Probably my most used palette of my YouTube career. This one is brand new to me. This is from ColourPop. It's their Deja Brew palette. Mostly cool toned as well. That is new for me for 2025, is trying cool tones instead of the warm ones that I always use. And then I can't remember if I bought this one this year or last year. The Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. Very user-friendly, very easy to use, but I am tempted to use the one that didn't get, I think, as much love as it deserves on social media, and it's the Urban Decay Naked Shaped palette. First of all, I love the packaging. It comes in a warm tone or a cool tone. I picked the cool tone and it opens like this. I don't love that part. I wish it would hinge up with a mirror. The middle is all cream shadows. Don't use them. I'm a big fan of all the other ones. And with that, I'm gonna say something controversial. I don't love the new technique of how we place our makeup, where you just do a wash of color all over the lid, as opposed to where we would do light on the lid, an outer corner, a median in the crease, a little highlight up here. I have been trying all year to embrace the more modern method of eyeshadow application, and I have to say it's making me look tired. So I'm gonna do a modification of the 2 techniques for 2025. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this biggest shade here first, and this is the part where it's annoying because there's no mirror on that to hold up. And I'm gonna dab it in the outer corner. So this is the hybrid technique. I am gonna get this whole kind of half with color and then start to bring it in. And I have extremely dry lids today. I don't know what's going on. It's slightly terrifying. And then we'll do that to the other eye. Well, actually, I do know what's going on. I've been playing with skincare. I gotta stop doing that. I really have to. Just stick with what works. Unless you see a hole in your skincare routine that you have not filled, experimenting, probably not great. Okay, so I'm keeping most of the color concentrated to the outer third, but instead of stopping at the crease, I am pulling it up over the crease. So there's your 2025 spin on things right there. That was a BK Beauty 201. Now with a Sigma, that's an old school one, E25. I'm gonna go in with kind of this minky taupe shimmer shade. We're gonna try that on the flat of the brush. And we're gonna pull that across the middle part of the lid and up into the crease. So this is a little bit different than a light shade all over. We're kind of doing more like a Neapolitan ice cream deal. And then in the inner corner, we're gonna do the lightest, the second to lightest. The lightest is like a silver shimmer. We're gonna pop that in here, and I'm gonna add another one in a second that I've really been loving that is not from this palette. So it's a pretty soft look. Don't forget underneath, that does kind of finish it all up. I'm gonna grab a BK Beauty 209, go in with that original crease-ish outer corner shade, and just run that underneath. Now when I go out later tonight, I might take one of the deeper shades, and it'll probably be this brown that's right next to the creamy part, and just deepen up that outer corner just a little bit, but it's morning, so I'm not gonna do that just yet. Clean up a little bit. Here's where I wanna add a little bit more sparkle and shine, and these have to be mentioned. Make Beauty is a brand that I didn't discover it, but I came to be aware of it in 2025, and I have been slowly adding some of their products to my collection, and these multi-chromatic metal reflecting eyeshadows are so pretty. I just ordered another one. This one is in the shade Glaze. I mean, I don't even think I need to zoom in on this. You can see the colors. And then Beam is the other one. It's a little bit lighter. Look at that. Look at that sheen. So pretty. So I think I'm gonna go in with an old school MAC. I can't even read, it's just the MAC flat brush. I can't even read the number on it anymore. You can absolutely use your finger, but since I want to get it in here, I might poke my eyes out. So we're gonna go in. And it's just gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that sheen, just that little, and I just take the tip and I just swoosh it up into that little indentation here. Swoosh it up being the technical term for putting it in the inner corner and swooshing it up. That's it for the eyeshadow part. So now we're gonna set before we move on to mascara. Now the one that I discovered for myself this year, the star of the show, is definitely the One Size On Till Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. And let me tell you what this is. This is hairspray for your face. This is reserved for extremely long special days when you do not want your makeup to budge. This is fantastic. If I use this too many days in a row, however, I do start to break out. So still my favorite for every day is the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush. Now for like extreme days, I will put on my SPF first, then put this on, then put all my makeup on top of it. That sort of serves as almost like a base to hold everything in, and then seal everybody with this. That's intense. We're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna quickly oversaturate my face. Now we are ready for mascara, which is this tube. But first we need to prime. So when Tarte released a tubing mascara primer, I am all in. First we have to curl the lashes, and this I think is new this year, was the, maybe I got it at the end of last year, but it wasn't released, is the BK Beauty Lash Curler. Love, absolutely love it. Love it so much that even though I was gifted one in PR, I accidentally smashed mine in a drawer and went ahead and ordered another one because they're just fantastic. So I use this on the bottom lashes and the top lashes. It is white, so you can see where you put it, but that also means you gotta make sure you cover it up. And I always do my bottom lashes first, tilting your head down so it lifts the lashes away from the face. And then we're gonna follow up before we go to the top with the mascara. And this is the one I keep reaching for, the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara in the lavender tube as opposed to the one in the gold. The gold one's okay. The gold one is good. This is great. And why I am a huge fan of this is, like I mentioned, I've had some eye conditions which required many, many drops in my eyes multiple times a day, lots of eye exams, and my mascara has never flaked, smudged, or run after doing all of those things to it. Then we do the upper lashes, and then we'll get to lips. Hold, please. Actually, I'm back. As I apply the mascara, I want you to see that I'm tipping my head backwards with my chin up. I am sure this looks ridiculous. It's because, again, it lowers my lashes and keeps them from hitting my lid. If you really want some extra length, extra va-va-voom, go in and hit the top and then brush them back through again. Of course, doing that, you run the risk of dinging your eyeshadow, which is what I just did. Generally speaking, in the order in which I do things, obviously skincare first, then makeup. I do my hair last because I want it away from my face, so I'll do my hair later. This is just how it looks for now. I did get some mascara on my lid. The key here is to just wait for it to dry, and then I can flick it off with either a denser eyeshadow brush or a cotton bud. But let's talk about lips to finish this all off. So I would have to say this is the year for the YSL lip collection in one particular shade. I have a couple other things that I love, so we'll get to YSL in 1 minute. The lip liner I have fallen in love with is from Dibs. YSL does not make a lip liner, which to me is very weird. I have a very weird situation where it doesn't matter what color the lip liner is when it gets onto my lips, no matter how pink it looks, it turns brown or orange on my lips. And I know a few of you have the same problem. Dibs has 2 colors in particular where that does not happen. Girl Talk, which is a lot more pink and brighter pink, and XOXO, which goes much better with the lipstick shade I'm about to show you. My lips are so chapped, and it is 100% my fault because I've had almost nothing to drink for 2 days. I don't know why. So, doesn't matter how much product you put on your lips, if you're not taking care of yourself and hydrating, lizard lips. So I'll remedy that later. I don't fill it in all the way to the corner because then I start looking like Joker. My favorite is probably the YSL Love Shine formula. First of all, it's just really pretty. And it's a much lighter weight, semi-sheer formula that's still in a bullet. And that's the one I'm probably gonna use today because my lips are so dry. I have also rediscovered, is it the Rouge Pure Couture? Something like the original OG version. Look how pretty this packaging is. This one is much more pigmented, will last all day long, even though it's not marketed as a long wear one. I kind of go back and forth between these two, but for today, because my lips are not great, we're gonna do the more hydrating version. You even really need to look in the mirror for that. I have been told this is a universally flattering shade. Obviously, I really only have experience with the far end of the spectrum on one end with skin tone, so let me know if you have a deeper skin tone than me. And then I love wearing this on its own and or topping all of my lipsticks with this lip gloss, which is I don't know the official name, but it's from YSL. It's a bit of a plump. It's got a very, very subtle tingle. Sometimes I don't feel the tingle at all. I have it in 3 shades, but of course, 44 is my favorite. That was a lot of layering, which was completely unnecessary. The other lip gloss that I have to mention, because I believe they relaunched this year, and this is where they didn't screw things up. Clarins re-released their lip perfectors, and the shade, I want to say 7. Yeah, 7. I think it's called Serum. If you only have one lip glossy product in your bag, the Clarins lip perfectors are just outstanding. They're more of a true gloss, but very hydrating, and there's a lot of color options. And I think they just released some new ones that are more intensely pigmented. But if you want something to just slap on and go, especially if you're, say, on an airplane or something, these are fantastic. And I like, the shade is very, very close to the YSL one as well. Okay, as I look over the mess that is in front of me, I think I have hit it all. So those were my standout makeup products for 2025. A few new ones, quite a few repeats. When you find something that works, just keep it in the rotation, who cares? Let me know if you use and love any of these or if you have any recommendations for me to check out. Oftentimes, a lot of the stuff that I'm trying out is because somebody sent me a DM or an email or left a comment saying, hey, you're missing out, check this one out. So thank you for the recommendations. I hope mine have been helpful this year as well. I'm not done yet though, so keep on watching, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.